people, so we are here. So yesterday on my community tab, I was going to do a video on SubZero, and based on the title of this article, this one is something. So let's get to it. Of all the Mortal Kombat characters, only a few have been in every incarnation of the game. SubZero is counted among those ranks. As one of the original 7 characters in the first game, SubZero made a lasting impression that has stuck with fans for nearly 25 years. As brutal as he is and complex, SubZero is an iconic fighting game character and a beloved MK hero despite his dark beginnings. Which is true because, you know, we all know about the story of Bihan, how he was the original SubZero. And up until he got in the tournament, he was killed off, and who later became Noob Saibot. But according to his brother, you know, he just was not the person that he once was. So this is an interesting topic. And when you think about how SubZero is when it comes to Bihan, he's dark and brutal, and he can be very nasty in a lot of times. And according to Mortal Kombat 2021 film, Bihan and his delinquent, they came and just took over Scorpion's home and just beat the brakes out of Hanzo Hasashi. And once the final battle between him and Scorpion, we now know how Noob Saibot came about. The ice-wielding combatant has been through the ringer over the years, mentally and physically, which begs the question, how is he still standing? Perhaps the reason delinquent assassin to go on fighting lies in the lesser known details of his body that only the most hardcore fans know, which is true. I mean, like I said, it's been documented in movies, video games, and documentaries about the history of the character. So it's no surprise to me the fact that Bihan, for the most part, is the most brutal one out of the original characters. But like I said, once his brother came into the picture in Mortal Kombat 3, no, actually it was Mortal Kombat 2 during the tournament. He pretty much just wanted to make his community proud, but I think for the most part, all he wanted to do was just save his brother from the torment of hell. So the original SubZero that appeared in the very first Mortal Kombat game was Bihan, but the mantle was passed on to his younger brother Kuan Yang. After Bihan's death, brother Han, however, Kuan Yang fought under the name Tundra. Okay, I have no idea about the Tundra. This is interesting, as the brothers share unique ground magic powers. Alright, so this part right here, Tundra, I have no idea that he fought under a different name. And this one is just something that really has me interesting. The more I read into this article, the more information that we're getting. And this is something that we're learning every day, you know, education-wise. Bihan returned in the second game as hidden character Noob Saibot, who did not officially make his debut until Ultimate MK3. After the first game, Kuan Yang continued to carry the torch of often battle under the SubZero codename. So far as personalities goes, the brothers couldn't be more different than night and day. Kuan Yang was often far more honorable, moral, and disciplined than Bihan, even though he did prefer to keep his distance and remain in the shadows. Now, here's the thing, it's obvious to me that, you know, Bihan, for the most part, wanted to seek revenge against those who took his life away. I can't say I'm not surprised by it, because like I said, it's been documented throughout the history, video games, documentary videos, and he is, for the most part, the most important character. And not to mention, based on the tournaments, when Bihan came back to life thanks to Quan Chi or Shang Tsung, apparently, you know, he wanted to seek revenge against Hanzo Hasashi, aka Scorpion, and it's been documented in Battle for the Realms and all of the NetherRealms Mortal Kombat games when it came to the reboots and rewriting history and stuff. So this one is go to show you that if you want revenge, you might want to do it right. But when it comes to Bi-Han, his mind is so tormented on getting payback on Scorpion. In the MK universe, Prime Manners are the exiled race from India who have the ability to control and shape ice. The Grandmasters were exiled for reasons none have ever been able to discern. It is believed that the population suffers extension to the point that no filler-blooded Grandmasters remain to this day. Whether it is a generic trait or a treatment to a Grandmaster's powers. It is believed that they sport an ice coating on their arms, but Kuai Liang is the only one who have ever manifested this trait. I think, based on this image, there's a possibility that they're gonna end up talking about the Cyber SubZero, because he was created originally in Mortal Kombat 9. But I have a gut feeling that if he was created originally in the original Mortal Kombat 3 timeline, I think they might have to have us a little bit confused when it comes to the history of these characters. But for the most part, this just got me interesting because the Cryomancers, I think this sounds like the Cyber SubZero, like the Cyber Ninjas clan. Irax and Sector, even Cyber SubZero, Cyber Smoke. You know, if Cyber SubZero were to end up being that same category, this pretty much sounds just like that. Bi-Han and Kuai Liang were born to a Chinese mother and Cryomancer's father, but only Kuai Liang would eventually learn of their true heritage. There are only 3 known to have descended from the Grandmasters. The brothers saying Kuai Liang's appearance first. Wow. So they were born with the Chinese mother and the Grandmaster father. So eventually, Kuai was the only one that managed to control his powers. So he's pretty much sounds like the mature one, while Bi-Han was more of an immature person. You know, he was evil, he was vile and menacing, and like I said, it kind of sounds like Kuai Liang was the mature one, to be honest. Kuai Liang was already an unstoppable force, but after he obtained the dragon medallion in his battle against Sector, his power increased to godlike levels. Many believe that the dragon medallion has the ability to harm and increase a Grandmaster's power, and the evidence is undeniable. After he acquired it, it began putting in powers to use. Wow. So after his battle against Sector, his powers began to increase even more, becoming the most powerful ninja out there after Bi-Han. So, you know, it would be interesting if they were to make a video game based on a storyline like this, because I would have loved to see it myself if that were to be true. The medallion may have also altered his physical appearance prior to acquiring it. Sub-Zero's eyes were blue, but they changed to white once he put on it. Oh, so this part is basically talking about how once he put on the uniform, his powers became different. Once his eyes became blue, it turns white. It's all because he's going through different phases of his ice powers. Now, if you look back in certain Mortal Kombat covers, you will know that Sub-Zero's eyes were always white when it came to the 3D era. Not the 2D era, but the 3D era. So I guess they kind of brought that back a little bit in MKX, when in Kuai Liang, the second Sub-Zero, his eyes were a bit blue, but they were a lot different. Considering his antiphony with ice, it only makes sense that Sub-Zero's greatest weakness would be fire and heat. After all, heat melts ice, making his attacks a bit questionable. That is one of the things that makes his off-again rivalry with Scorpion so outstanding. Sorry that took me so long to say that. With the Dragon Medallions boosting his powers to godlike portions, SubZeros is virtually unstoppable. However, the Hellspawn Scorpion knows exactly how to wield fire in the ways that make SubZero more than just a little uncomfortable. A lot of fans have always wondered why SubZero was never able to defeat Scorpion, but given the circumstances, the answer is obvious. Scorpion is too hot for him to handle. Okay, I like this part right here. That's pretty funny. I mean, it's true. When it comes to him and, SubZero's rivalry, I don't think anybody can defeat Scorpion unless you're Bihan or, again, his brother can pretty much outdo Scorpion in his Hellfire ability. Interesting article. So now we know about the Grand Manor's powers, about how Qualiang was able to maintain his abilities to control his powers. And like I said, Qualiang for the most part sounds like the mature one. So yeah, y'all want the article, it would be in the description below. So hopefully we'll be able to learn something, and hopefully y'all did too. Y'all enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. I'm out.